Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my Minecraft Let's Play series. Today we are starting off in my storage system at the Server Seed world. This is the Guardian farm that I was talking about in the last episode, and this is, I believe, the location of the storage system. I'm not quite sure on the Y level just yet. This is solid. It might go up depending on the height of the item tubes that'll be placed later on. I've also decided I'm probably going with hoppers instead of the water streams, just for lag, to avoid that, because it's really, the server's not performing the best at the moment, and a million items floating around this area at all times wouldn't be contributing in a positive way. That'd just make things so much worse. Anyway, if we look at the map, we have a look. These three squares are slime chunks, and I've decided that this one is the best option for the slime farm. Then it has a shorter distance to get to the storage area, which will be moved over this way slightly, so it's more centered between these two farms. And if we have a quick look around when we're in here, I have changed some of the farms that we're going to be using. So that's just the hostile mob, that's just the Guardian farm and the ink sacks from the squid farm over in that direction. We're also going to have a sugarcane farm, bamboo farm is what I've decided instead of kelp. It was between the two for the fuel source, and I've gone with bamboo because it's not going to require a bunch of water in an area, because it's ugly as hell. So I'm going to go with the bamboo. I've also got a slime farm over that way, and I've decided for now I'll have a cactus, but that may change. That one could definitely change in the future, I'm not too sure. Cobblestone generator and wood farms I'll definitely have. Copper, we'll discuss in a second. We've got the saplings just for the wood farm, and these two are part of the turtle farm. I'm not sure where that's going to go yet. I'll have to find a location and make that look good, and design. I don't have to design a farm, but I can find a design that works. And of course a sea pickle farm, and that's just miscellaneous items for things that don't fit into other chests, like guardian heads, stuff like that. Now for the copper ingot, I want to do a drowned farm in this area, because that'd be really cool. Plus I require a lot of nautilus shells and a lot of tridents for my store. Plus it'd be great to have copper. So of those drops, the tridents are non-stackable, so I can't have an item filter, so they'll go directly into this one, and I won't get enough nautilus shells to have a chest like this for, so they'll also go over there. But the copper, I think we may as well have a storage area for. I don't expect to get a whole lot of any of the drops, to be fair. This is even if I do a drowned farm, so that one and the cactus farm are both up for debate, so they may not be in the final design, but at the moment they are. Anyway, I've also wanted to add some redstone functionality to this central area, so I've got these note blocks every now and then, similar to the Guardian farm, where I can just right click it and it'll send a signal to an observer. So if I jump onto this one, and I can show you one I prepared earlier, and if it sends a signal through the observers to that piston over there. This is nowhere near what we're going to have in the actual area. Like, it's not going to be just a piston connecting to a redstone block to a redstone lamp. It'll connect to the farm. So for the sugarcane one, it'll send the flying machine off, and then it'll collect all the sugarcane. I also want one for the Guardian farm, so I can change it from AFK where they drop down to the ground, and one where I looting effect kill them with my sword. Just from here would be cool. I can just right click that and then they go to the ground. I also want a bamboo, so I can send off the bamboo flying machine as well. And the other one I have forgotten, but there is definitely another one that I was going to have come. Oh yeah, the mob farm, I want to have that toggleable, so if it's lagging out everyone, I can just turn it off from over here. I can just right click, and then it'll go into the constant mode of having water on the spawning platform, so nothing spawns, just so it's not running at all times, because I don't really need it on at all. So that'll be really cool to link up all the observers. So there'll just be some streams of hoppers everywhere and streams of observers everywhere, which I'm hoping won't look too bad. Ideally it'll look really good, but we'll see how that goes. And for the item demonstration, you could say, to display what item the redstone connects to, I think I'm going to go with a similar thing like this. The diamond armor isn't a worry. I've got a lot in my chest from End City raiding, and the head will not be Steve head. It'll be either Guardian or a drowned. I'm thinking maybe two of each would be cool, like in parallel, in opposite corners. The tridents, potentially, they look really good, so I might just go trident hunting, and instead of putting them in my store where they should be, I'll put them just in these armor stands, and then holding the items that they are going to connect the redstone to. So I can just right click that, and then for the sugarcane it'll send off the flying machine, And this is the exact design that I'll be using in the server very soon, so I'll probably build that in the next few clips. Okay, so I've done the math, and we're going to need 9 stacks of chests and 5 stacks of hoppers, at least. And that's not including all of the hoppers connecting to item sorters, to other farms and stuff like that. This is just for the actual storage system itself, and we currently have not a lot. Sick. So, everything we should need to build the storage system should be within these 2 chests here. So, with that said, let's get cracking. That's completely wrong. I forgot about all the dark prismarine and prismarine bricks that we're going to need for this thing. So there she is. The finished storage system, complete with 5 beacons with all 6 effects. Hell yeah. And all 4 arm stands holding the item that they'll connect the redstone to. That will be done in a while. I just can't be bothered, and 3 of these farms don't currently exist, so I'll do the Prismarine Guardian farm eventually, but we'll see how we go for that one. I've also linked up the Guardian farm drop so they go straight into here. I moved these myself from the chests that were down there that now aren't, so they do flood in whenever they want, and the drops are coming through the drop evader right there. But those are just backed up ones. Like, I haven't had any Guardians spawn when I was over there just before. I'm not sure what the problem is. I'll have to give it another look or fly around or something, or have it try to figure out, oh, there's one, never mind. But yeah, that hopper line right there looks like it'd be fine, but no. The farm, especially when I'm standing up there, is just way too productive, and it just backed up immediately. So because of that, I'm going to switch this hopper line and probably the one around the top ring of the storage area to water instead of hoppers, because the hoppers just can't keep up with it. So I'll switch it to water, and hopefully that'll help it help a steady flow better, rather than all backing up and then losing drops and causing too much lag. Obviously, water is less friendly for the server, but that also looks a lot better, and the hoppers just can't keep up. So this area the ring has to be water for now, and the Guardian. All the other ones should be okay to be hopper streams surrounded by the warped trapdoors, but these 2 have to be water, it seems, unless there's something I'm forgetting about the game or a certain way of transporting items. I'm pretty sure the only way for it to be able to keep up like that is hopper minecarts, which would be a lot worse than water, or just water streams, so we're going to go with that option. And yeah, I want to have a quick show of the beacon down below, because this thing is an absolute unit. Like, look at this bad boy. I'm so glad we have the iron farm, and we've had it chugging for, well, we only had it going for a couple of days before we shut it down, but it was in spawn chunks, so it was constantly loaded, and we got a ridiculous amount of iron, and this is 8 stacks of iron block, which is crazy. Alright, so it turns out that replacing this upper ring with water streams is not going to be as easy as I thought and hoped. I can't just go around the side of these hoppers and place glass and then put water on the inside, simply because of the distance here being longer than the distance that water can travel. Even if I placed a water source on this block right here, the water would only travel to about this hopper right here, and all the items would get stuck on these 3 and just wouldn't go around the circle, and that's obviously not what we want here. So because of that, I'm going to have to rip out the center chest of all quadrants and replace it with ice at the top here, and then have a large square water stream going around the top here. So I'll have to also remove this drop evader that I constructed just today, and replace it with probably a soul sand elevator of some sort at some location, probably over here as well. And then we can get cracking with other things. There she is, finally done again. Now with the full warped trapdoors all the way around, and that was a lot of warped wood. That was so expensive, and it made things so much worse when I accidentally made 6 stacks of warped slabs instead of trapdoors, which was not my finest moment. And then, yeah, so I also connected this to the water stream of the Guardian farm, which has a very simple dropper with an observer clock that goes ridiculously fast, drops the items straight down, and scooch them all the way along to that water stream up there, which is soul sand powered, which makes it a lot faster. Then they just yeet around. I have had a trouble that they come in too fast for the hoppers, because they only have 20, only 20 can come in the hopper at a time, otherwise it overfills and then it has to go all the way around, and I had a lot in the miscellaneous chest. So I've got to have a real think about what I'm going to do with that, because like the drops in there aren't all that important to me. Like, what do we got? We've got Guardian heads, pretty cool, but I'm not going to need more than a stack ever. Raw salmon, sorry, don't care about. Pufferfish, I'm not all that concerned about. 64 should cover me for the rest of the server, and all the cooked cod, I don't care about either. But to be fair, that is just the Guardian farm. So we will also have some drops from other farms, like apples, I think will go in there. We'll probably have a lot of like glowstone, and witch drops go in there. But what I might have to do is change that out for an actual item filter of a farm. Like I might add another one for wood or something. I'm not going to, but that's just an example. And then just not accept any of the other ones. So they may need to just yeet around this entire ring until they despawn, or I'll think of something better for that. But that means that for the drowned farm, if I do one, I'll have to have a separate storage system there for all the tridents and all the nautilus shells, because originally they were going to go in there, but because I've had to block up the item filter to allow prismarine to go into the actual prismarine chest instead of going all the way around and like plumping into this one, which is obviously not ideal, I'll have to work on that. And I might need a separate storage system for it. Anyway, so now that this is completed, we can come and grab an old friend and show him the new area. So we'll get you up, Prismarine. He's been sitting there for maybe a month, just chilling, just not a care in the world. He's been happy sitting there. Will he spawn onto slabs? Let's find out. I didn't go too far away, did I? Surely not. Let's just grab some blocks. Prismarine, that's fitting, isn't it? We'll go like that. Alright, we'll have to walk around the side then. Alright, never mind. Prismarine is stuck in the nether for a while. But don't worry, boy. I'll come back for you. That took longer than it probably should have, but he's here, and that's the main thing. Prismarine has joined the party at the storage system. He's no longer stuck on the lonely island by himself. He is with the rest of the gang, all the armor stands, and myself at the storage system. Let's go. Also, now feels like a really good time to mention that these holes here will obviously be filled. I'm not going to leave them as they are because that's disgusting. And I'm thinking at the moment to have a mixture of quartz pillars and chiseled quartz blocks. Mostly pillars, potentially all pillars at this stage, I'm not sure. But that's what they'll be, and I just need more quartz because I've used quite a lot of quartz recently. And so I'll have to do some AFKing at the bartering area pretty soon, and I'll work that out. And I've also come up with sort of a design for the redstone that'll be coming from these note blocks, which are powering observers. So it'll just be an observer chain all the way down to wherever they need to go. It'll be about that block right there, the sticky piston. And similar to the cyan of the water streams, I'm thinking I might do crimson trapdoors and do the red for redstone. At this stage, it will be trapdoors, but I haven't yet decided whether it'll be the warped for the cyan or it'll be this crimson for the redstone. I'm thinking the crimson just because obviously redstone, it makes sense, and then I can differentiate by just looking at it like, okay, that one is a redstone one that connects to the Guardian farm. Do it logically like that, but yeah, again, not yet confirmed. So that's actually this thing pretty much done. The only thing that we have to do to improve this storage system is add a bunch of farms for items to flood in, because currently it's just the Guardian drops, and that's not the best given how much storage I've got allocated to other farms. So I reckon now's a good time to build another farm, and if you look over there, I've actually started one. This will be a massive sugarcane farm that is going to be 4 of these along, so that's a total of 8 strips of sugarcane, about 110, 120 blocks long. This is just the bottom for the rails to go on, then there'll be sand above that, then sugarcane, and down that end will be a flying machine that goes back and forth, breaking all the sugarcane and sending them over into that massive storage system over there. So my original plan was to just blaze away and get through all the grindy stuff, so like placing the base, placing all the rails, placing all the sand, placing all the sugarcane, but I've instead decided to get through the redstone component instead, and this is actually all we're going to need, because there will be hopper minecarts above these hoppers just chilling at all times until the piston flying machine goes back and forth to harvest all the sugarcane, and then the hopper minecarts will go with it and come back, and then all the items will get sent through to this dropper right here, and that will be detected by the comparator, which powers a sticky piston, forcing an observer clock over here. That will repeatedly power and unpower this redstone dust here, sending the signal across to this repeater, which will repeatedly power and unpower this redstone torch just here. So that we'll do a quick demonstration with some prismarine slabs. They'll get yeeted out, and obviously there will be a better catchment chamber than that. It'll probably be just one of the tunnels that goes straight across, because we don't want the sugarcane just dropping on the bedrock and just getting despawned. That's not ideal. Boom, there it is. All the redstone is done. And so the way it works is there'll be a sugarcane right there that when it goes to 3 tall, it'll notify the observer, which will send a pulse around through this redstone here to the piston below it. And that'll break the second piece of sugarcane, leaving one at the bottom, which is exactly how we needed to keep it working. And that observer, when activated before, not only does it power the piston, it also powers this redstone line, which goes up and around, and moves this redstone block out of the way. So currently it is powering this redstone, which powers the furnace? Hold on. Which powers the sticky piston through the quasi-connectivity thing. But when the observer moves the piston out of the way, because it creates a 0-tick pulse, I believe, so it just goes forward, it doesn't come forward and back, it just goes forward once and leaves the block right here, but it can get grabbed back the next time and again updates it. So when the sticky piston retracts or extends, no matter, depending on which way where the redstone block is, it'll notify this observer, and that'll activate the pistons below it, sending the flying machine off. And when it gets to the very end, there is a little thing at the end. I'm running quite low on rockets, and golden carrots for that matter. There's a little thing, I left some redstone out, anyway. There is this bad boy right here, which happens when a block at the very end, I believe, runs into this observer right here, which sends a pulse around and extends that sticky piston, and then pushes the entire flying machine back. And then on these blocks will all be rails. Obviously these will be powered rails, these will be normal rails that go all the way down to the end. And there it is, all the rails are done. If we fly up, this took quite a few rails. I think I had almost full inventory, but there we are. Now up to the sand. Damn, run out of sand, but that's fine. I can just go grab more. But I want to point out how odd this is, that the rail that is, like a 16th of a block can hold up the gravity block, no worries. Like, it's just, that feels broken. Also, it turns out that turtles can spawn in this area right here. Oh, and fall to the bedrock, apparently. Because this originally was an island that came out to about here. And they can spawn here because it's sand, so I probably should have thought of that, but I didn't. I'm hoping sugarcane being here will stop them spawning, but it shouldn't affect too much because the piston flying machine is going to be higher than... Is that too high? No. It's going to be higher than the turtle hitbox anyway, so there shouldn't be much of an issue. Look at that. She's done. Took some time, but I reckon it'll be definitely worth it, because first of all, this thing looks insane from all that. Oh, look at that! The perfect timing of the flying machine. That worked so well. Anyway, this is going to be well worth, because we'll be selling paper at the village trading hall that you'll see in the next episode, but also just for rockets, because I've only got a couple of stacks left, I think 1 or 2, apart from these ones, and I really need a better supply of sugarcane, and this will be it. But I have had issues where I calculated that the yield of this farm per harvest, which is one of these going across and back, would be about 20 stacks. But if we fly over to the storage and have a look in the sugarcane section, we've only got, like 21 stacks from 2 harvests. And that's not because the sugarcane hasn't grown all the way. That's more of an issue of the items going somewhere. So I've got to track down between episodes where the items are going. And that's not on these leaves. They do land on the leaves, but the flying machine comes back and pushes them off. I'm thinking they just get yeeted too far over this way, or the hopper minecarts, the hoppers are too slow for the dispensers, they just despawn, potentially. Oh, actually. Well, that'll be it. That's... Are they not connected correctly? Could be the issue. That would definitely... I'm guessing one of these is just done wrong, or I just haven't got a hopper somewhere over there. I don't know. Is that... We'll find out another time. I'll have to have a look through it and make sure that that's all good. Confused. Anyway, so if we fly back over to the storage area and have a quick look at the map as well while we're here, it looks absolutely insane, and that white area is a bit of a foreshadowing for the next episode. And also we'll have a look at this map as well, and it looks really cool. It looks weird now that the sugarcane isn't there, because I thought it was green earlier, but maybe it's not. And either way, it looks like a much more purposeful area. Like if we look around, there's nothing around, then look at that, this massive area just completely black for the bedrock. It looks really good, and I'm happy with how this is progressing, and we'll be working on another farm right there in the next episode, so stay tuned for that one, and thank you for watching.